Sandra Falga,
Yes,
how are you doing?
I'm just relaxing and doing nothing special, but just talking with an interesting person.
Did I pronounce your name right? It's Falga.
Falga.
Falga, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you told me you got back from where? Costa Brava?
Yes, I've been this weekend and I just take free time for doing relaxing things and disconnect a little bit from the routine. And well, now I'm back home, so it's just talking with you and let's see how interesting it be the interview.
Well, you're the only interesting thing about this interview, that's for sure. But tell me about that. Tell me about what you did in Costa Brava and how you unwound from your daily routine. What did you do there?
No, I just walking around. I just take some nice places. I also make a photo shooting for a clothes brand. I always go there for also a job, but and in the same time disconnect. So it's both.
Right. So
And I
is
see some friends and everything. So all
so
good.
Sandra, you are a supermodel from Spain. Would you consider yourself a supermodel, or would you
No, I
no?
never consider a supermodel. I'm just passionate for my job. That is to be in front of the camera, and I like when the good photographer, take nice pictures of me, and always I express myself through the camera. So I
So
think this is more important than to be in front and just posing and cold.
right,
All is cold, you know. So
right.
I
Well,
prefer to express something.
so you're more of an artist. You're more of a businesswoman and an artist then.
Can be, yeah.
Okay. So, and I know that you've kind of built a name for yourself in Spain, and probably I know you've traveled to France and to England as well. Um, Now, I want to talk about real quick how I came to know you. There was a website called modelmayhem.com that was popular back in the 2000s. It was sort of the online way for photographers to meet models and vice versa, and to set up photo shoots to work together. Now, that site, of course, there was a lot of that, and I had a lot of work through that site at the time. That's where I noticed you. I noticed immediately that there was something very unique about you. And it wasn't just the fact that you were Spanish and from Spain, from another country. It was more, um, you have a very elegant, sort of regal look. For example, when people, Spain has been, there's a lot of stories behind Spain, but one thing I know about Spain and the Spanish is that you have a long history and a very deep history of kings and queens. And I mean, there's a king of Spain right now. Is that not true?
Yeah, it's true.
So there, right now, there's a king and queen of Spain, like currently right now.
Yeah,
But do
yeah,
they?
but I'm
Right. So, but do they? By the way, do they actually control anything, or they're just there for like decoration, or I mean, do they?
decoration, all it's image, nothing interesting to do. A lot of events and all is the presence of the person in the event. Nothing,
Right.
nothing special.
But it's still interesting to me that they're still there, and that family has gone back hundreds of years.
Yeah, the queen, the father of the queen, right now is in Abu Dhabi. Is living in Abu Dhabi in a big house and is alone there. And I think it will never come back again to Spain because a lot of bad things this guy do for Spain. So
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
think,
I did
yeah,
not
it's
know.
a long story. It's a
Yeah,
long story, but the people are very sad with that person, no?
right. So is his wife with him, or does he have a wife, or is she still there, or?
Yeah, but they are separated, not
I see.
together.
Well, that's sad. I didn't know that at all. Well, anyway, if I imagine like a medieval Spanish princess, or even sort of the the cultural picture of how a Spanish maiden should be. I mean, there's been a lot of songs made about it. There's been a lot of poems made about it, a lot of art around Spanish women. Uh, you would probably be what would come to my mind.
Really?
Absolutely, 100%. And, as an American, I only can look at and I've never been to Spain, unfortunately. So I can only look through a little keyhole of what is really there. I don't really know anything. So that's why it's fascinating to me. And the fact that like I know you and you've been so kind to me over the years to, not block me on everything that it's interesting to me. And especially the fact that your mentality seems so different than American women. And even like and I'm no stranger to European women. My first wife was from Ukraine. Um, and so I'm kind of familiar with a little bit. I mean, I've been to Russia, but I've never been
Mm-hmm.
to the countries that really fascinate me, which is Spain, France, the UK, and Germany. Those are all countries that I definitely have planned to visit in the next 5 years.
Nice.
And so, yeah, so it's important. I'm not one of those Americans who is not curious about anything. I'm very curious about other people in other countries. But I kind of lost track of where I was going. But do you? So your main source of your job right now is working for that fashion line or that store?
No, I'm right now. I'm working temporal jobs like events and congresses here in Barcelona, the big events, and I'm the coordinator of the hostess. So for
Oh,
me, this job it's nice and it's active because I'm very active. I'm not a lone person, so I'm always doing different things. I never stop. But yes, I take my time for doing my things like gym, sport, and healthy life. So yes, right now I'm in a good moment. So I hope I can do that for a long time because it don't takes too much hours. So I prefer to live than work.
right. Absolutely. Yeah,
I don't
same.
want to be in front of the computer 8 hours per day. So when you leave, no, at the end you have 45 years old and life goes so fast.
Well, I don't know about 45, maybe 65, but
Oh, 65.
but but yes, life does go incredibly fast, and that's why it's important to do what you love. But have you always been health conscious and fit? I mean, is it something that you've worked at, or like for example, what is your diet? What do you generally try to eat or avoid, or do you just eat anything? Like, what's your nutrition like?
No, I eat all I want. I just do my gym sport for being healthy of the brain and mentality, to be open always. I don't want to be frustrated for nothing. So I think I would be frustrated for a big problem, not for a stupid thing.
Sure. Well, how
So I
often
eat, yeah,
you just
I
eat
go every day.
whatever? Yeah. You go every day, and do you run or do you lift weights? What do you do?
I do the machines of the gym, a little bit this, and also activities with the teacher, just dancing and a little bit hit and gap. Hit and gap is a different kind of style. doing exercise.
Interesting. And have you always done that, or is this something recently?
I do every day. I will go this evening also, and well,
So were
it's different.
were you doing this when you were like 18, 19, 20? I mean, were you always doing this?
No, 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 no.
No.
I start from 2 years ago, maybe.
Got it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's interesting because I've also become very fitness conscious. Um, I've gotten myself into a regular workout routine, and I'm on a specific diet, and I found that it's helped me 100%. And just the way you feel is just it's unbelievable compared to
Exactly.
like never being active. I can't imagine people who don't have something that they do every day. But you know, the one important thing that I learned, and I wish that my parents had passed this on to me, and they might have tried, but I don't remember, is that, and if I would have followed this since a child, I would have always been fit. But I'm only recently really fit. I mean, I've lifted weights all my life, you know. In my 20s, I was very fit. I always lifted weights. In my 30s, I kind of just let myself go a little bit, and so now I have to work twice as hard to get out of that.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah,
better it's
yeah,
better to stay fit from a young age rather than starting at the middle point of your life. But one rule that I learned is that you have to earn what you eat. For example,
yeah.
during the day, I don't eat anything until I exercise. And after I'm done exercising, then I will eat.
Hmm. Good.
It's very simple, you know, and of course, in the United States, sugar has been the one main poison of everyone here.
Here
You hear
also.
a lot of stories about Americans being fat. That is the reason. It's the sugar industry makes
Sure.
millions and millions and millions of dollars off people who don't know that like sugar is toxic.
Toxic. Completely agree. Yeah.
So it's important, you know. I mean, it's something that I learned a little, you know, too late, but it's okay. A lot of people do much worse. Like for example, I
No,
don't.
but never it's too late for doing what you need. No, exactly.
I believe that. Like I feel right now at 45, I feel better than I did when I was 25. It's odd.
That's perfect.
So, yeah, you're right. The age doesn't really matter.
Hmm.
So, one thing I'm very curious about, one thing that fascinates me about you, and something that doesn't really make sense to me, is why you're not married.
Because I don't want.
Okay, we talked about that, I think, a couple times. You don't want. Why not?
Because I think it's a lie.
It's a lie?
Yes, because okay, what I think, it's not the truth, but what I think, my thinking, it's compromise is just sign a paper and you compromise with this person to be for a long time,
But
and
forever.
maybe you don't know what will happen in 2 days or 3 days. Maybe you met another person, and so for me it's not necessary. You feel the love every day of your person, so you don't need to sign a paper to demonstrate nothing.
So you've okay, but you've been in love before, right?
Hmm.
You've been in
Two
love
times.
with okay, two times, very lucky men, whoever they are.
four
Um,
years and a half with a Parisian man,
okay,
but I've been young, and then I've been in love with another guy for short time.
and that was me. But so okay, so look, what I'm really trying to find out is
But just take me a question.
yeah,
What do you think about the marriage? You are marriage?
I'm divorced.
Okay.
Well, what I think is that I mean, if you love a person, and they love you in return, I think that, I mean, but the problem is that doesn't really happen often. It's either one person likes that person, but that person doesn't like that person, and like that. Or they might like them, but they're not in love with them. Love is something I found it's very interesting. I've experienced it, I think, only once, and I don't like it. It's weird.
I think the person doesn't need another person to be complete. If you are good with yourself, you don't need nothing in reality. You just need to someone for having fun and living good moments and doing special things, but not it is nothing from you. So
I'm with it. I'm with it. I feel that absolutely 100%. But the thing is that if you really love a person, it's kind of hard to escape from that, and you don't want to let them go. Well, it's sort of, you have to be willing to accept that it's not going to all be pleasure, that it's going to be painful, sort of. You have to say, well, look, I said hello to you and I love you, but eventually I'm going to have to say goodbye to you. And whether we divorce or one of us dies or whatever happens, find somebody else, I'm starting to think that like nothing is really permanent. So
exactly.
So
before you accept this, it's better. Right. You cannot lie yourself. You just need to be clear and be real and be touch the foods on the floor always.
Are you religious at all?
Sorry,
are you religious? Are you Catholic or anything? Are you?
No, I just believe. I'm not a practicant, but I believe in there is something energy or something big around us.
Yeah.
That we cannot control. We cannot control that because it's too transcendent. No, it's out of my limits. I cannot explain that, but yes, something exists. Yes.
Right. And so if something exists, then we exist, and there's got to be a purpose. There's got to be more of a purpose than sort of just for us. I guess what I'm trying to say is that for me, and I think a lot of men have this, my idea of like happiness is having a wife and children, and that the wife will never leave me, and that my children will love me, and that, we'll live somewhere and be happy forever. But I think that a lot of people have that. It's just that, yeah, but I get it. Some people, that's just not their cup of tea. Like they prefer to, travel the world and be free and have multiple lovers and do whatever they want. And just, it's all about freedom.
Yes.
But
Yeah, but I have to say that when you do all you want, I go to Maldives, I go to Los Angeles, I go to...
Wait, when have you been to Los Angeles?
No, but I mean, you do what you want, okay? So you cannot fly. At the end, you cannot fly. So it is better to touch the foods on the floor always, because if I always dreaming, at the end it's boring. If I am rich, I think that if I am rich, it's boring also to being rich. I have problems. You have problems also with poor people. Also, you have to manage more money, more problems. I think it's not about money. The life is not about money. It's about happiness.
But your family is very important to you. I see that you're close to your mother and your brother. And
Yes.
you're very much very close with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and do you have a large family, or it's just your mother and your brother?
My mother, my brother, my grandmother, and that's all.
Where's your dad?
My divorced.
I see.
I don't have a father for 12 years or 15 years.
I see.
Yeah, divorced. My father traveled. So
I see. Interesting. Well, thank you for sharing that. I've got a much clearer picture of those questions that I had for you. Thank you very much. What are you? What is your opinion of Americans?
it's very positive because I think they are more open mind than here. They are more advanced the technology all about all. I think I don't know so much about this kind of people, but I think they have another mentality.
Hmm.
Very positive, yeah.
And you think that's because Spanish people are they're either too religious or they're too proud, or what is the reason for that?
I'm not sure about that. I cannot tell you nothing more
But
about
no,
this because.
but Catholic is the most popular, right? Catholic in Spain.
Sorry?
So the most popular religion in Spain is Catholic, right?
Yes, Catholic. Sí, sí.
Catholic, I see. What is your favorite European country? Have you been to Italy? You've been to Italy, right?
There are many. Huh?
You've been to Italy, right?
I don't understand
Have
now.
you been to Italy?
I've been to Italy, yeah, in Roma. Yes, I've been there.
What do you think about
Yes, it's
that?
a nice place. A little bit dirty,
Dirty, really? And
but the food is incredible. Food is amazing.
Yes, I'm sure it is. So is
You,
Barcelona? Go ahead.
I'm really good in Barcelona. For me, I'm very lucky to live in very close of Barcelona because the people are very funny all the time, are happy, and people comes here for eat paella, some paella, you know paella,
Yeah.
and to be in the closer of the sea and doing nice things in Barcelona.
Well,
So
that
for me, it's
reminds me.
special.
You mentioned paella. Can you tell me about like what is like Spanish food, like Spanish cuisine? Because I know I live in Los Angeles, so I know a lot about Mexican food, but
Nice.
I don't know anything about Spanish food. What is that like?
Spanish food, the main is jamon. You know the jamon?
I don't.
Okay. I will send you a picture
Yeah,
and you
show me
can
a
see
picture.
what it is. I will send you later. And also paella and tapas. Tapas, you know tapas?
I've heard of tapas, but can you explain what it is?
It's small proportions of different kind of typical foods, like croquetas, croquettes, and pinchos. It's interesting kind of
So, what's a
food. Yeah.
popular type of meat in Spanish food?
The pig,
Ah, yeah, pork.
Mm.
Nice. Okay,
el cerdo, yes. Pork.
nice. I want to try it. I'm very curious now.
I don't eat so much now. This kind of food.
Really?
I'm nice. I'm now doing some sports, so I prefer to eat fish or to eat something more light and
Sure.
salads, and tomato or something more healthy.
So you're more of the pescatarian. Very
Hmm.
interesting. Very nice. Well, you invited me to come to Barcelona, didn't you?
You can come when you want.
Yeah. Right. Well, all right. I mean, is it? Would you? What would I do there? Like, what would you suggest to do when I come?
to eat and eat good food in good places, good old places in the center of Barcelona. There are many places to eat very well, and then show you some architecture like Sagrada Familia or Casa Batlló, different monuments, typical and popular of Barcelona, and also you can have fun doing a tour or something around.
Nice.
Many things to do there. Yeah.
Well, definitely, definitely. So your place, you're not exactly in Barcelona. You're a little bit outside of it. And aren't you in some mountains or some hills or something? You told me.
Yeah, I'm in a small village around Barcelona. I have 45 minutes to arrive to Barcelona, and it's a nice place also to live because it's more quiet. You don't listen nothing. You are in the middle of the mountains, so there are farmers around, there are animals, there are cascade, and nice places to visit also. Yeah, it's more rustic,
Yeah,
old
countryside.
village.
Yeah. I would prefer that, actually. I would definitely prefer that as to big city. And you like that? That's what you prefer?
Yeah, I'm okay where I am.
Same.
Yeah.
Nice. And are you going to stay there for a long time? You planning to have that as your home forever, or?
Yeah, I want my home forever, as much as possible. And if I need some distraction, I can go to Barcelona by train.
Right.
So for me, it's easy to take the train. But yes, for relaxing, it's better here. There are some nice places, and it's not boring. It's not boring here also.
I bet it's not with you around. Well, hey, I mean, it sounds all exciting and good. I mean, I can't wait to visit. And, I think that I've pretty much gone over most of the material I wanted to talk with you about. But I'm sure I'll have more questions later on. But I think I really appreciate you sticking around for so many years and entertaining me and being such a good friend because, these American girls out here, they're crazy. So what can I say? It's a breath of fresh air to see that a woman like you exists.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure for me.
You have manners. You're cultured. You don't automatically assume things. And very open-minded as well. So I don't know. I think Spain and America is a good mix. I don't know.
Maybe.
Could be. Maybe, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just have to come find out for myself. Look, Sandra, I really appreciate you doing this. And before I let you go, I might think of something else to talk about. Can you take your camera and show us the outside, or just show us around something interesting of your surroundings?
There's nothing interesting around.
No, nothing outside. Nothing outside.
I will show you. Let me check.
Let's see some Spanish countryside.
There is mountains.
Wow, that looks like California. I'm
Really?
serious. Yes, the mountains like that, and it's very similar, Southern California.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, but another day I will show you around better, and you will see the outside. I think it's more magical.
Well, listen, Sandra, let's definitely do this again sometime. And it's always a pleasure to see you. And you are très chic all the way. And it's always great to have you around. So I promise that I will come visit Spain if you promise to come to LA. I've been trying to get you out here for so many years, and you're just like, I don't give a shit about California. Whatever. So
maybe you want to have a lot to do here, so I have a lot of photographers.
You're not really missing anything. Oh, by the way, that reminds me, photography. I used to be a photographer, but I'm not anymore. Well,
Why?
I've always been a filmmaker. I still make movies, but
Okay.
photography, I did it for about 5 years. I had my own studio. This was around the time where I first found that you existed. And I realized at some point that I was not really getting anything out of it. That I just kind of existed to, boost someone else. And I was getting not very much credit for the work that I was doing. I wasn't getting paid anything hardly. And my pictures were actually not that bad. The thing about photography that I like is the framing. The aesthetic of the framing really appeals to me. But I think
Nice.
more to making movies, less on still photos. And I don't like digital photography. I don't like digital stuff. I like film
Mm-hmm.
because film is what I was trained to do. And so, but anyway, I just didn't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that stands around a beautiful girl taking pictures. I want to be kissing the girl. So for me, I just couldn't do it anymore. It's too much. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't be that type of, and I have respect for photographers. Don't get me wrong. I'm not being disrespectful, but it's just for me personally, I don't want to ever be in that, in that position. There's a word that we use out here in America. It's kind of a slang word. It's called simp. And it's a word for the kind of guys that hang around, pretty girls all day just taking their photograph. But they're not really dating them, or they're not really with them or doing anything. They're just, and I think it's obnoxious too when boyfriends and husbands go around photographing their girlfriend and their wife all the time too. It's, do it yourself. you know,
Exactly.
I don't, I
Yeah.
don't, I just don't want to be that guy. And I was that guy for a long time, and I got tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
so,
understand.
yeah, thank you very much for understanding. See, that's why I do this. Is because just a simple "I understand" can say so much. It's nuance what I'm trying to tell you, Sandra, because here in the United States, there's a lot of political stuff going around with the relationship between men and women. There
Mm-hmm.
seems to be a lot of confusion, a lot of controversy. It's like the sexes are at war with each other. It's
Yeah, but every person is a world, so you cannot put all in one. Every person is different, so you have to. We have to respect that and just flow,
yeah,
just flow on your way. Just flow on your way.
for sure, for sure. Feel the vibe and flow. I'm with it. Well, listen, Sandra, if people want to find you online, they can just search your name, Sandra Falga, Falga. You're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram. Anywhere else?
No,
What is
I think
your
it's
what is your modeling or clothing line? Do you have that as well? And I know you have merchandise too.
yeah. I sell merchandising. You can find in my shop online, shopsandrafalga.com. So you can find more about me.
Nice. All right. Well, did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Good. Well, hey,
Thank
listen.
you for your time.
No,
My
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you
I
for
really
showing us a small little window into your life. I appreciate it.
okay.
All right. Well, have a good evening.
Okay. Have a nice day too.
I'll see you later.
And see you. Bye bye.
Good night.
Good.
I mean, what a lovely girl. I mean, you just couldn't ask for anything better than Sandra. And of course, yeah, there's a lot more I could have talked about, but I just feel like It's kind of the same thing. The thing I was talking about with the photography and not being that guy, well, you know, it was starting to feel like the same type of vibe, just sitting there talking and talking and talking. I mean, I said all I needed to say. She did too. She's chill and cool, and that's something that I'm not seeing very much these days from females. I really don't care how you think that sounds. You can piss off. I love women. I always have. Women have always been an important part of my life, from my grandmothers to my mother to my sisters, to my wives, whatever. They're just such an essential part of a man's life. And so, it's important for me to have her on. She's a special person. But I will definitely have Sandra back at some point, and I definitely have to travel to Spain, like immediately. I mean, it's always interesting seeing a window to another world, isn't it? So I want to talk about Bruce Willis a little bit. So I lived in Brentwood, California for a long time, for maybe 2 years. And so Brentwood is a small community in Los Angeles. It's very affluent. And there's some really good restaurants too. But there's one place that's beyond amazing, and it's my favorite burger place. It's called Barney's Gourmet Hamburgers. There's also one in San Francisco. I think that's where they got their start. But it's just very high quality food. I mean, it's just very, very good quality meat, and they grill it, and it is absolutely delicious. Their buns, their veggies, their cheese, everything is perfect. They have, some crazy sides as well. I loved it, and I ate there almost all the time because I could walk to it from my apartment. So I was in there one day and I saw Bruce Willis. And I was already in there. And he had walked in with some other guy that he knows. And of course, it's easy to recognize him. This was in March of 2020. This is like right before COVID hit and the world ended. And so I said something like, "Hey, Bruce Willis, I've been watching you since I was a kid, And I did. Die Hard is iconic, obviously. Every kid who watched that movie wanted to be John McClane. And that basically formed our personalities. I still think I'm John McClane. It's just the most badass depiction of the true, man with balls who doesn't really give a fuck. It's a great movie. I mean, my God. So anyway, Bruce looks at me with this confused look. And I said, "Hey, would you mind if I got a picture?" And Bruce goes, "A picture?" With that Bruce talk. "A picture?" He squints. "A picture, huh? A picture?" And I said, yeah, a picture, And the other guy was staring at me weird, and Bruce just kind of sits down and he said something like, "I don't know, I don't think I can do that," or this, that, and the other. And then I said something stupid like, oh, well, you're the man, or I mentioned some other fucking movie he did or whatever. Anyway, I was kind of like pissed. Because I was kind of starting to think, well, you self-centered prick. Like, this whole fucking thing is a fraud. It's kind of like finding out Santa Claus is fiction. You know? Because I expected, like, oh, fuck yeah, bro. Oh, you like Die Hard, bro? It was fucking badass, huh? Was it badass when I jumped off that building and it exploded? Wasn't that cool? Hell yeah. Get fist bump, bro. Appreciate you, cuz. I guess that's what I was expecting. But nah, it was more like, you know, that's what it was like. So, yeah. I mean, anyway. So I left. Bruce had his burger and left. And I really started to not like Bruce Willis after that. Then I heard about him retiring from his aphasia diagnosis. And I found it odd that they even announced that. Then he sold his digital rights. Now you're seeing his digital face everywhere. I mean, the last good movie he did was probably Death Wish. He's actually not bad in that movie. There's also one that I really like called Once Upon a Time in Venice, which is a silly but very entertaining movie. And I love it because it's set in Venice Beach, which is probably my favorite hood of LA, besides Westwood. They're both equally great. The rest of LA is a fucking hellscape. I like Venice. I like Westwood. Santa Monica's okay. It's So, Bruce retires due to aphasia. And now I'm seeing everywhere where his ex-wives and his daughters are broadcasting to the world that he has dementia. Why would you do that? Is there any dignity left in these people? Like, do you not care about his privacy? So the thing is, if he has dementia and aphasia, he can't consent to that. He can't consent to that. That's fucking abuse. To announce to the world a man has dementia. To just tear down this monument of Bruce Willis and reduce him to a feeble-minded baboon. You're not doing that. You know, because Bruce, to my knowledge, doesn't have a son. I could be wrong. I'm not going to Google it. I don't have a Jamie. I am the Jamie. And I'm too lazy to Google it. So, I think he has only daughters. And he's surrounded by all these exes. Like, every time you see a picture of him anywhere, he's surrounded by chicks. His daughters, his wives, whatever. Their wives, their fucking daughters. They have emasculated this man. They did it on purpose, and I think Demi's behind it. It's cruel. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that they did that. I think they should shut the fuck up about it. And again, he can't consent to that. So anyway, that was the one time I met Bruce Willis, unfortunately. And I thought he was an asshole, but he's not. He's just got dementia. And now they're plastering it everywhere. I don't know what for. You know, for example, Jack Nicholson has been retired since 2010, and you haven't heard a peep from him. He's 85, 86 now. There's been some rumor that he retired because he couldn't remember his lines. What does that tell you? I'm pretty sure Jack Nicholson right now hasn't got any marbles left in his head. And I think he probably has some form of dementia as well. I could be wrong. This is all speculation, and I hope he doesn't, because he's my favorite of all time. But at least the family isn't publicizing it. It's private, and it'll probably remain private after his death, because they don't want to tarnish the monument legacy that is Jack Nicholson. But look what they're doing to Bruce. Keep that shit under wraps. Nobody needs to know. Have some respect and dignity. Well, hey, look, folks. It's late here in Venice Beach. I can hear the waves. My dreams of traveling to Spain and reclaiming my princess have been reignited. So, for good or for better, if shit don't work out here, you can kiss my ass. I'm going to Spain. Good night, everybody.
Carry me, caravan, take me away. Take me to Portugal, take me to Spain. Andalusia with fields full of grain. I have to see you again and again. Take me, Spanish caravan. Yes, I know you can. Lost in the sea, I know where treasure is waiting for me. Silver and gold in the mountains of Spain. I have to see you again and again. Take me, Spanish caravan. Yes, I know you can.